Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have a couple of encounters with reptilians to tell you all about today, folks. Both of them involve basically abductions and assault. So, both stories are kind of terrifying, folks, and very intriguing. The first article we'll be reading is Reptilian Assaults Russian Experiencer After UAP Abduction. So, let's get into this account and hear exactly what happened to the witness. Suddenly, she felt the creature climb over her, touching her. She felt like screaming, but her throat did not obey. She felt everything, but soon lost consciousness again. That was a brief excerpt from the actual story, folks, and as you can see, this sounds like a terrifying account. The site and the year of this incident happened in Vyborg, Russia, summer 1999 during daylight. 32-year-old Maria was found barely alive, naked, and injured on a highway outside of St. Petersburg. She was taken to a hospital where it was found that she had numerous cuts, bruises, and other injuries. After an initial investigation, local militia came to the conclusion that she had been assaulted. There was a strange detail present. The lower part of her body was covered in an unknown substance resembling mucus or frog spawn. So, was this woman assaulted by some sort of alien beings, folks? Perhaps maybe as part of some sort of, maybe breeding program? Now, I don't want to basically take away from the fact that this woman probably was assaulted, folks, but is it possible that this did indeed have something to do with some sort of alien abduction and an encounter with a reptilian being? As I said, I don't want to basically make fun of the subject of assault, but here we have very weird details in the story that don't really make all that much sense. So I must ask, what exactly happened to Maria here? It sounds like she went through a real ordeal and I have nothing but sympathy for her. So, was she actually assaulted by something not of this world? Or was this some sort of clever ploy to basically maybe to divert attention from the real assaulter here by basically making the story and basically the situation look very absurd, perhaps? I'm not quite sure. Either way, there's more to this story, so let's get back into it now. When she regained consciousness, she reported that she had been staying with some friends at a country cottage when one day she decided to take a motorboat into the Bay of Finland. She wanted to look at an island which had the ruins of a former Finnish glass plant abandoned in 1939. Suddenly, a dense cloud covered the sky. She looked up and saw a huge disc-shaped craft. She felt paralyzed with fear and unable to move. As the huge flying saucer hovered over her, she lost consciousness. She does not recall how long she had been unconscious, but she woke up feeling terribly cold and fearful. She opened her eyes and found herself laying on a metallic table, completely naked. She was not tied and was able to move, but soon noticed a bizarre creature leaning over her. The creature was lizard-like, with huge eyes. She saw many shining instruments around her. 3 or 4 lights shone over her. Suddenly she felt the creature climb over her, touching her. She felt like screaming, but her throat did not obey her. She felt everything, but soon lost consciousness again. She regained consciousness in a hospital 200 kilometers away from where she had originally been. Her boat was found on an island. The mucus or mucilage-like substance proved difficult to wash away from her body. Source: Undeclared Visit, NR 2000, and militia hospital staff witness Albert S. Roselius. So, once again, Albert S. Roselius has basically informed people of a particularly bizarre account here that basically gives us something to think about. Was this woman involved in some sort of, and I have to say I'm sad about to say this, folks, sexual assault, perhaps used for some sort of breeding program for this, well, lizard-like being? Was it probably to maybe produce offspring? We don't know, but it is certainly a very strange story. Now, is there a possibility that maybe this woman hallucinated it all? Maybe she was assaulted, sadly, folks, by some guy who found her, and she basically went, I guess, maybe temporarily insane and basically made up this story. It's not that it was fake, folks. These things actually happened to her. But her mind dealt with the trauma by making her believe this delusion that she was abducted by aliens. Maybe, but then again, how do you explain the frog spawn and this weird substance and mucus on her? You really can't. Either way, let's get to our next article. Reptilian and Texas jazz singer's imminent relationship. And hear exactly what happened with this woman encountering this alien being, folks, because it sounds truly bizarre as well. Maybe even more bizarre than the last story, folks. As I said, let's get into it now. and read exactly what the witness, dealt with when encountering this alien being. But before we read the full story, let's read this brief blurb from it. It really sets the tone for how this story is going to go. When she again opened her eyes, she didn't see the beautiful, blonde, slender man, but before her, she instead saw a reptilian entity with scaly skin. At that moment, she understood that the alien visitor was able to camouflage its appearance. So you can see, folks, it's kind of terrifying. It might even be worse than the last story. So let's read, when and where this event took place, folks. Houston, Texas, 1998, late night. Pamela Stonebrook, the well-known jazz singer whose first recorded abduction is dated 1994, but she had earlier abductions suppressed in her memory since her childhood, reported that she later had sexual contact with a reptilian entity. The sex was very unlike any sex with any human man. Well, this is truly another bizarre account, folks, but this time it seems like it somewhat seems consensual, at least. And as I said, I don't want to make fun of, sexual assault here, folks. So let's continue reading this, jazz singer's story. Pamela Stonebrook's story, I should say. That night, she was sleeping when suddenly she awoke and found that she was having sex with someone beautiful, like a Greek god. The man was tall, blonde, and light-haired, with a beautiful face. At first, she thought that it was just a dream, but the sex was so furious that she closed her eyes and enjoyed the all-submerging feelings. When she again opened her eyes, she didn't see the beautiful, blonde, slender man, but before her, she instead saw a reptilian entity with scaly skin. At that moment, she understood that the alien visitor was able to camouflage its appearance. So, I would say that in most accounts, folks, most people would probably just start screaming at this point, right? I mean, in multiple stories, we've heard about people basically being completely out of their minds with fear or anger at these kinds of assaults. This woman, though, she seemed to basically be going along with it for some odd reason. Was this alien being affecting her mind, perhaps? I just don't know. But either way, it is indeed something to consider. I mean, does Pamela Stonebrook basically realize that she might have basically had her mind altered to basically accept, the assault here, folks? I mean, this entity was just on her. It shapeshifted into a human, or basically camouflaged itself as one. Or, as she said, it looked like a Greek god to her, but still, it was assaulting her, folks. So it makes me think that this entity was somehow affecting her mind. But we can't be for sure. This, as I said, it sounds like she was okay with it, at the least. But either way, folks, let's continue this article. Afraid of the alien's real parents, she cowered back, but then she heard a telepathic message from her partner. With me, you are safe. We have been together forever. We love each other. Maybe they had been together forever indeed, but Pamela only remembered the encounter since 1998. Pamela described her reptilian lover as very sensitive and very intelligent. His body resembled that of the body of a snake, solid but smooth, greenish, or yellow-green in color. The eyes of the reptilian were larger than human eyes, and she noticed different tints in the alien's eyes, golden, red, and brown. The alien's eyes reminded her of a cat's eyes, with vertical pupils, but very beautiful. His neck was massive, and on the top of his head he had a crest of 2 openings, and a small bulge for a nose. Pamela finally was able to talk to her family and friends about her encounters, and said, frankly speaking, I don't care a rap if anyone would laugh at my story because I would react the same way before it happened to me. Source, a personal experience, the true story of a jazz singer and her extraterrestrial. And I have to say, folks, this account at the very least sounds consensual at least, but I can't be for sure. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of reptilians because I've heard that they are very evil, but in some accounts, there have been people who said that maybe they could be benevolent, like this one here. So I will give Pamela Stonebrook the benefit of the doubt that at the very least, maybe she had a good encounter with one. Either way, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions of the chat to go subscribe to me. There are other links to Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute, Dark Sayings, Wobbit Co-op, and stitched together pics. And remember, I upload exclusive videos to Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute. They do not upload to YouTube. If you want to see them, use those links down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to my channels on those websites. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to hit the part of the bell that will give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.